In my entire Duel Links career, I've only seen a few metas completely drain the morale of players, and this is one of them. In fact, this meta is why Decade quit Duel Links. He saw it coming and wanted nothing to do with it. Though I touted my indifference to it, my opinion of this meta has been declining pretty much by the second. So this ban list should hypothetically be a ray of mercy, and here are my predictions. Mekk-Knights, and specifically World Legacy Secret, have been pissing a lot of you off for the past 3 months. It's just disrespectful. And there's many predictions going around, but I'm gonna stick with what I think will happen and not what I hope, because that's Secret getting the chair. Now look, Mekk-Knight Indigo Eclipse may be a Sideman Hasbro toy. Shake him around and you'll hear the sand in his hula hoop looking ass, but the thing is, he's got a target on his chest the size of Montana, getting limited to 1 instantly because Konami does not have the pent-up resentment to ban World Legacy Secret. Undercutting the synergy here is a good move in my opinion and will help, but I don't think it's enough. World Legacy's memory is gonna need a hit as well, and if we're not gonna ban skill drain, just like, come on Konami, just do it, just show some cajon. Putting it to 3 is a popular thing and I'm all for it. Take away all the overpowered trap cards, especially this abomination. No one needs this. Limiting memory also accomplishes a nerf to the already imperfect consistency of Mekk-Knights, but should it stop there? With Indigo to 1 and memory to 3, honestly, I don't know if that's enough. Look at these KC Cup results. These are the kinds of results that, in my opinion, should lead to a card getting banned. But they'll probably do something dumb, like limit Blue Sky to 2, as well as Knightmare Corruptor Iblee alongside Knightmare Mermaid. I mean, in my mind, that's why they gave Mermaid the limit 2 anyway, so that they could inevitably put Iblee to 2. Probably just didn't expect to have to do that so fast. But seriously, with Mekk-Knights, you have 2 options. You give them a little slap on the wrist, or a Bijou Dama. Because there's no skill to nerf here, and there's no clear answer except for banning Secret. But again, I just don't see Konami doing that. They really don't like banning cards. So in my opinion, Konami is gonna go Indigo to 1, Blue Sky and Iblee to 2, and Memory to 3. Gouki was sitting around the rogue minding its own business, not bothering anyone. Then this guy showed up and said, hey, you wanna run this bitch? Months later, here we are. Goukis were tailor-made to be meta dominant. It has a very straightforward, albeit long-winded, but straightforward combos for turn 1 and 2 that can easily lead you to victory, especially going second. This deck is a siege on ladder and it does need a restriction. And I think banning expendable die is the only way. Warrior Digrepher's glutes have been too good for this meta. But in all seriousness, I like the proposed limit finishing move and rematch to 1 idea. Just straight up give them the salad treatment. And I think it'd go the same way. Rematch is just much more important and it'd effectively be a ban on finishing move. And that crazy turn 2 is undercut, and it would also take reinforcements of the army away from them, hurting the consistency. But they need a limit 3 as well, and I agree with Headbat being the target here as he sees a lot of play at 3. I've said before, I don't think Infernoid needs a restriction, but the thing is, it'll dominate this game if other restrictions go into place and they don't get one. And their KC Cup representation is screaming a limit 1 for Feast. And I think that's fair, because they don't run any limit 2s or 3s usually, and again, there's no skill to hit. But you know what skill you can hit, Konami? Exceed Galaxy, for God's sake. I don't really agree with limiting the Exceed Dragons. I know their package is used in other decks, and I guess I could see it, but I'd at least start with, I don't know, an attempt to balance the skill. Just because the skill doesn't propel them to tier 1 status does not mean the skill isn't problematic. And it's grown to make Galaxy Eyes, in my opinion, the most stale deck in the game. Let's talk about Infernity. We've been ignoring them for a good while. Is it basically like, you're really good at that, kid, just don't get too good at it? Well, they got too good at it. You can throw whatever percentages of hands and whatever at me. All I know is when you get trished more than once in a single turn, something's off. It's grown to be the pseudo equivalent of an FTK deck. It's just unbeatable when it's set up. Matches feel like coin flips, and even then, sometimes you can't put up a turn 1 that can keep up with all their turn 2 shenanigans. Obviously, inherent consistency issues will be the bane of its existence, but we're past the point where that's enough. A limit 1 would make sense, maybe Sage or Necromancer. I'm personally on the side of Sage more, and there is some people that say put Launcher to 1, but I don't think Konami would do that since seems they're content with giving us 4 copies, let alone 3. But they could also do like transmodify and sage to 1, maybe throw in downbeat while you're at it too, who knows? But they need to be reeled in some way. One of my favorite archetypes in the game, I like watching them cook, just not when it's my turn to order. Mermail Atlanteans really showed off in the KC Cup, maybe a little too much for their own good, because I think we may end up seeing the first nerf to Territory of the Shark since it came to the game. And they could maybe even take it a step further by limiting Dragoons in some way. Needle Sealing probably deserves a limit 3 as well. I mean, he's acting like he's part of the bunch, so might as well make him an official member of the limit 3 OP trap gang. And lastly, way to go, Konami. Ice Dragon's Prison ate this KC Cup alive, and you put yourself in a position where you can't do anything about it. You can't limit to 1 a selection box exclusive ultra rare without getting 20,000 lawsuits pinned on your front door. This meta ended horribly, Konami. We need a great flood level ban list. We need a full reset button on this game. Basically, what I'm saying is nerf everything but Burning Abyss so we can regain our rightful throne over this game.